8 of them come out.
No one could tell me if he was alive.
We have our hands up like this. They shot over 100 rounds.
It's a Victor out from ICE. We got a shot.
God, please don't take him away.
Shot with an AK-47, bleeding profusely.
I knew he was in trouble when he told me he was going to be on that highway.
This is where my panic and my fear sets in. I thought they were gonna kill me.
We need to be a complete family. What about my kids?
Agent Zapata shows up, we head out. Jaime and I had a wonderful, it's like I'd met him my whole life. We talked about life, we talked about family. He shared a lot of personal information. This is from someone that he had met the day before. I saw myself a lot in him. And we end up meeting at kilometer marker 100. They show up, we're driving an armored Suburban that was issued to me. They're in their armored Suburban, and we exchange this equipment. This equipment is boxes of surveillance type of equipment, tracking devices, but they were big. We had to lower the second row seat and the third row seat. I throw the keys to Jaime and said, hey, it's your turn to drive. He had never driven an armored vehicle. This vehicle weighs almost 6 tons. So it accelerates different, it brakes differently. This is a good idea for you to drive because it's an open highway. So he starts off driving. I call our supervisor, give him our location. Within maybe not only 15, 20 minutes, 2 SUVs passed us at a very high rate of speed. The second SUV has a silhouette of a rifle, a long gun, sticking from the seat. And I tell Jaime, yeah, I see it. I said, just let him go. Before you knew it, we were right up on them. They had reduced their speed down to maybe 20, 25 miles an hour. They were crawling. They immediately start blocking us. Their front SUV is stopping while the second SUV is stopping and pushing us to the right. They're doing a rolling roadblock. We realize something's wrong here, and I tell Jaime, try to avoid them. But they reposition themselves, and the second time that they start doing it, the SUV next to us, in other words, next to him as a driver's side, rolls down their window, and they bring out AK-47s. And they're yelling, pull, all this in Spanish, by the way, pull over, stop. And I tell him, don't pull over, but now you're almost crashing their SUV in front that's blocking us. Eventually we come to a complete stop on the right shoulder. One of the SUVs is blocking, the other one is behind us, and 8 of them come out and do like a semicircle. And one of them comes around that's carrying a handgun and opens Jaime's door. Jaime immediately grabs the handle and shuts the door. It kind of surprised all of us because when Jaime placed the Suburban in park, it was programmed to unlock all 4 doors. Now they're yanking on the door handles and they're ordering us to get out, get out, get out. The guy at the driver's side door that had opened the door with a handgun shoots a few rounds at the door, kind of front tire area. Did he just actually shoot at did he just, and he had shot off rounds. It was very chaotic and very loud. And they're all screaming, by the way. We have our hands up like this whole time. And I'm yelling at them at the top of my lungs. We're Americans. We're U.S. Embassy employees. We're U.S. diplomats. This is a diplomatic vehicle. Look at the plates. Whoever you think we are, we're not. You're confusing us for someone else. Over and over, I'm yelling it. Jaime never says a word. 2 of the shooters came to my window. When we locked the doors, we had inadvertently lowered my window a couple of inches, the armored window, and we didn't know. They inserted the barrel of an AK-47 and a handgun right by my head. We had nowhere to go. And so I braced myself against the post like this, and without warning, they just opened fire into the cabin. They shot multiple rounds into the cabin, and I saw Agent Zapata be struck multiple times on his side with a handgun. I grabbed the handgun and burned this whole part of my skin had peeled off because it was very hot. And I don't know if I was trying to grab it or wiggle. I don't know. I remember just grabbing the handgun, and then they pulled them out. And then I raised the window, and they shot over 100 rounds at that Suburban. And I tell Jaime, go, go, go. I even got the the shift lever and I slammed it down and I pushed his leg on the gas pedal and we crashed that front SUV that was blocking us. I just wanted to get out of that X and get the SUV back on the highway, but the SUV was destroyed. I mean, the tires were flattened. When we crashed, we just crossed the highway into the median, and I tried to get the steering wheel to put the Suburban back, but it was disabled at that point, and Jaime had become unresponsive at that point. Now I started attending to him. He had gotten shot with an AK-47 round in his leg and was bleeding profusely from his left leg. Trying to see what's going on, I see one SUV take off. The other SUV takes off and then does a U-turn and comes right back and parks right in front of us. Two of the shooters come out and they stand right in front of me with AK-47s and they just open fire, trying to penetrate the bulletproof glass. And I remember freezing there and thinking, okay, this is it. And then I see them get in the SUV and take off. I get my radio phone, it doesn't work. It has no signal. I pick up my BlackBerry and make a phone call to the U.S. Embassy. The call gets routed to the regional security office. It happens to be a temporary receptionist.
Yes, embassy, switch office.
This is Victor Avila from ICE. We got shot. We got shot.
She kind of panics and literally drops the phone, runs down the hallway. Claudia is literally 5 feet away in an office when she runs down the hallway and says, there's an Agent Avila who's been shot. Claudia hears this and comes out in the office and said, what did you just say? That there's an Agent Avila. She doesn't know that that's my wife, and there's an Agent Avila on the phone, he's been shot. So Claudia goes into distress, literally throwing up. My friend then, sorry.
I can't tell you just how many emotions. I mean, I knew it. I knew he was in trouble when he told me he was gonna be on that highway. All I remember is someone pulling me away from the phone because I wanted to talk to Victor. And they said, it's gonna be fine. And then Eddie shows up and another RSO show up. And they said, Claudia, he's gonna be fine, he's gonna be fine. And then I remember Eddie talking to Victor.
We are on the highway to Querétaro, Mexico. We've been shot and attacked on the highway. I am an ICE special agent.
Try to remain online, please.
At first he doesn't recognize my voice. And I'm like, Eddie, it's me. And for some reason I'm speaking a lot of Spanish. And a lot of explicits. I'm F-bombing here and there. It's just a very stressful situation. Well, they're trying to find out where we're at. I was bleeding a lot from my face. I had a lot of shrapnel and glass. I had a lot of Jaime's blood on me and my own blood, and I didn't know. And he says, you gotta check, are you shot? I said, I don't know. I got hit in my chest and twice in my left leg. I didn't know. I didn't feel it. And I said, yes, I am. So he says, take off your belt and cinch it tight to make a tourniquet out of my leg, and I did. They heard me trying to keep Jaime alive because I was still managing with Jaime because he was almost coming in and out of consciousness. The only person in Mexico that I trusted was the head of our vetted unit. I called him directly in Mexico City, and he was able to deploy a helicopter. We waited for 40 minutes before any help came. That's a long time.
I was so distraught. I was yelling and screaming, trying to get to him over the phone. They called the embassy doctor. They took my pulse, and I mean, it was sky high. They said, you really need to calm down. We're gonna give you something to just make sure that you're okay.
There was at one point an ambulance that came through the right side. It doesn't say ambulance on it, and it doesn't have the colors like the US ambulance, but it's an ambulance. And one individual gets off, crosses over, and is trying to open the doors. I'm here to help you. And when this guy was coming over, I just had my handgun pointed at him. I said, yeah, open the door. Open the door. And he's like, I'm here to help you. I said, yeah, go ahead, open it. I didn't trust anybody at that point. And then he didn't do anything, he left. That's the Zeta cartel ambulance. That's the guy that they send to rescue their own people or to finish people off. Not until about 40 minutes later, the cavalry shows up and rescues us. The helicopter literally lands there next to us on Highway 57. They take Jaime and I to the nearest hospital in San Luis Potosí. This is where my panic and my fear sets in.
There's so many conversations. That room just became engulfed with so many people. It was very, very surreal. And the only thing I could think of is, God, please don't take him away. Please don't take him away. We need to be a complete family. What about my kids? I think I was in shock. And they took me to an office and they gave me a shot. From there, I remember being able to at least take a breath. But the whole time, no one could tell me if he was alive. The minutes seemed like hours. The supervisor, the attaché at the time, he came in and he said that somebody was en route to get to Victor. And I asked him, is Victor okay? And I remember he looked at another agent. He looked at him instead of looking at me. And he said, yeah, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine.
I refuse any kind of IV. I refuse any kind of medication. I didn't give them my name. I didn't give them information. I thought they were gonna kill me.
I saw a bunch of men in suits.
Well, where's Dad?
Now everything's kind of compromised. There's very little distinction between the police and the bad guys. We are not under arrest, but we're not free to leave.
I didn't know what to tell them.
We have these hoods put over our heads.
And they put us in the back of this Suburban.
Are our lives in danger? What is happening?
I was so confused. Something's not right here.
How do you tell your kids your dad was gunned down by cartels and they killed his partner?
God is love, and love comes from God. In 1 John, the Bible tells us that God is not only all-loving, but that He actually is love itself. The heart of the Parent Compass television show is to bring the transforming love of God to families everywhere. In every Parent Compass episode, true stories reveal family struggles and how their lives were radically changed by the love of God. Parent Compass, an award-winning television series, is completely funded by people like you. If you have been touched by God and you want to share God's love to others, would you please pass it on? Jesus tells us to go into all the world and to tell about Him. With your donation, you allow us to take this television show into many different nations and in many different languages, free of charge. And a portion of your donation goes to Parent Compass Outreach to feed starving children. Your gift does so much. To make your tax-deductible gift, go to parentcompass.tv/donate. That's parentcompass.tv/donate. And thank you for sending love and hope around the world.